Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Coffee, Books, and Rain. I do have some coffee today. So during the kind of holiday release of their beverages, not to provide endorsements, just to kind of say that this is my favorite drink of the holiday season, I almost religiously get what is called a misto. And so it is half regular brewed coffee, half steamed milk of your choice. So I just kind of get whatever they've got. And so sometimes it's oat milk, sometimes it's like 2%, whatever. And then I get 2 pumps of the caramel brulee. Again, 99% of the time when you guys see me drinking coffee, it is straight black. Usually I like an Americano or just brewed coffee that is just black. However, during the winter season, when they release the fall or the winter flavors, that is when I get this one type of beverage. So I usually indulge in maybe 1 or 2 throughout the season, and I'm so very excited because this is my first one of the season, and it is delicious, and it's just like I remember. But again, it's only 2 pumps of the caramel brulee, which helps make it not overly sweet. Since I don't frequently do a ton of sweetener in my coffee, it's just a really nice treat since I usually do just drink straight black coffee like all the time. However, so we are drinking coffee. We are having a great day. I did wake up with quite a bit of a headache, and I think it's just maybe the weather that is triggering it. I had to take some of my migraine meds to help stave that off. Slept just a little bit extra with the meds in order to also kind of tamp that down a little bit. Feeling a lot better. Still kind of sluggish, but it is better than it was. All right, so anyway, all of that is said, all of that is done. We have some Christmas decor kind of in the background. Hopefully you guys think it's cute. It is not quite finished because I do have a couple more things that I need to pull out of storage. These are things that I've really kind of acquired probably over the past month or so that I have just really kind of been, I like this Candyland vibe that has really come out this year. So really digging that. But I'm going to dive into recording the review for The Last Hour Between Worlds by Melissa Caruso. Now, I will preface by saying I actually recorded this episode yesterday in a cosplay costume, and when I went back to edit it, there was no audio. Could not figure out why my audio was completely silent. So that was a bit of a bummer. So you guys, I will probably put a picture of what I was wearing, maybe over here on this side. I thought it was kind of fun. It was not a specific character. It was just something I kind of created for my D&D group on yesterday when I was playing D&D, and then I was recording afterwards. However, today you get the re-record of me kind of in a bit more of a relaxed state, and no makeup, hair is not really done, so you're gonna get a much more raw sort of Rachel. But let us dive into The Last Hour Between Worlds by Melissa Caruso. Now this is book 1 of the Echo Archives, and I am looking behind my mic. I have my tablet there to kind of provide my knowledge or my information regarding this book, just to give you the details, and then I can kind of go off cuff regarding my thoughts, but just to make sure I'm giving the correct details. Now this book is expected to be published November 19th of 2024, so by the time this releases, probably been out about a week. And I cannot believe we are so close to the end of November already. The temperature outside is still in the 70s, and that is like so like not fun. I need some nice fall-y, wintry vibes. I need some cool, crisp air. I need to be able to break out my warm clothes. This is a very lightweight sweatshirt, and I have like little tiny short, they're not tiny shorts, but I have pretty much little sleepy shorts that kind of match in stars. But let us dive into this description. A whip-smart adventure fantasy packed with rival guilds, reality-bending magic, and sapphic pining. The Last Hour Between Worlds is the brilliant launch of a new series from David Gemmell's award-nominated author, Melissa Caruso. Kembral Thorne, is spending a few hours away from her newborn. She's determined to enjoy herself at this party, no matter what. But when the guests start dropping dead, Kim has no choice but to get to work. She is a hound after all, and she can't help but picking up the scent of trouble. Sorry, my little puppy's over there, like rooting around, making a bed on the bed. It's cute. She's not the only one. Her professional and personal nemesis, notorious burglar Rika Nunsuch, is on the prowl. They quickly identify what's causing the mysterious grandfather clock that's sending them down an echo at every time it chimes. In each strange new layer of reality, time resets and sinister figures appear to perform a blood-soaked ritual. As Kim and Rika fall into an increasingly macabre version of their city, they'll need to rely on their wits and each other to unravel the secret of the clock and save their home. So, without further delay, let us dive into my thoughts. And a sip of really good coffee. So, I'm going to give it like a 4.25 stars. I think this was a really fun way to use some time manipulation magic, I guess, time bending magic, in a way that I feel like is not overly done. I feel as though we in the past, probably in the past few years, have really kind of encountered like multiverse theory a lot. We've really kind of encountered time distortion pretty frequently. But this is a little bit different, and I think it's different in a very good way that makes it feel more unique, in my personal opinion. So starting with Kembral, she, like the description says, is a new mother, and she is kind of a single mother. The father of the baby does not seem to be in the picture because he seems to be kind of a jerk, and Kim doesn't seem to be too upset about it. Like, she's probably a little miffed, but she also seems to be perhaps bisexual in her orientation, which is honestly good for her, because Rika and her, the kind of like the little romantic interest, the sparks that fly between them, is really cute. So definitely feeling that vibe, kind of love it. And when the father figure shows up, it's very sassy. It's very catty in all the best ways. And I don't want to call him like a deadbeat dad, but he is very not in the picture. Because apparently he's probably like a pretty face with no real personality, and he's kind of an arrogant douchebag in a lot of ways. So he probably gave the baby some really good, cute genes, but it's probably better if he's out of the picture, because his personality is kind of garbage. And all in all, Kim is doing a really good job, and so she decides on this New Year's Eve, it is a turn-of-a-century New Year's Eve, that she is going to go out into the world, she's going to go out back into society, and she is going to socialize with some of the people that she used to work with, hang out with, kind of feeling back to normal in kind of like whatever way she can, now that she is a new mom. She doesn't feel like she's been out in society. So she's like, okay, I'm going to go out. And her clothing doesn't fit the same anymore, because of course your body's probably never the same. And so you really do have to come to terms with that. So she kind of had to wear something that she probably wouldn't have worn. But honestly, the way it's described sounds flattering. This gives me steampunk-ish vibes without kind of really being steampunk. I'm just saying that's kind of some of the vibe I get from it, which I enjoy. So I am not knocking that in any way. Well, as Kimbrel's at this party, And the party progresses and they get closer to midnight. She sees this grandfather clock and she notices a crack down the face. So she kind of runs her finger down the crack and it gives her this very small, minute, like cut on her finger because this crack is so fine. And it embeds a little bit of, I guess, the glass from the clock into her finger. Well, once we get close to midnight, people in the party start to pretty much fall out dead from poisoning and various other sort of attacks. And Kembral is doing her best, but she is one person to try to prevent this, and chaos abounds. Clock strikes midnight, and everything more or less resets, except for Kembral. She remembers everything that had just happened, but no one else in the party does. And so she's very confused. This is kind of where we start to see that there is something happening that is magical force, and she is the only one that's kind of recognizing it. And now she realizes, pretty quickly, I guess. I shouldn't say now she realizes, but pretty quickly she realizes that there is something about that clock, and when she touched it and kind of got that glass in her finger, that almost took her out of that repeating loop that's happening. And in this realm, there is this kind of, I guess, theory of echoes where there are layers beneath us or kind of around us, very multiverse-like. And so one level down in an echo, it's very similar, but just slightly off. Maybe the costumes are a little different. Maybe the decor of the room is a little different, but everything's pretty much the same. And so as you get further down into the echoes, you get more darker. You get, I guess, more malevolent forces, that sort of thing. And so Kembral, being a hound, that's part like her job, she has already been into several of these echoes. She's been several layers down. She's not been, from my understanding, all 11 layers down, because they do get so much darker as you progress downward and much, much more dangerous. But at the strike of each hour, so midnight, 1, 2, 3, etc., the party resets and somebody is perishing pretty much at the hour each time, and they do stay dead. That person does stay dead. And then we go down another echo. And so now Kembral has to find somebody to work with her in order to kind of prevent this whole catastrophe from coming to a head and reaching the end, so to speak, because she doesn't think like things will reset back to normal when the game is over. And if Kembral and the person she kind of recruits to help her, if they perish while they are kind of separate from this timeline that's resetting, because remember, everybody who's part of the party is resetting, but Kembral is now outside of the party because she's touched the grandfather clock and has kind of been embedded with some of the glass. So she's now outside of this bubble, and so if she perishes, she doesn't reset, and she kind of stays dead and outside of the bubble. And so anybody that she recruits to help her also resets, or stays dead and does not reset. But overall, I thought this book was really cute. I thought it was very well done. This was my first experience really reading a Melissa Caruso book, and it does look as though she has a Swords and Fire series, as well as maybe a Rooks and Ruin series. So both of those sound really good. This seems as though it's going to be the first in a series, because it does say it is the Echoes. Let's see, hang on just a second. The Echoes Archive #1. So I know it is left with some like pending adventure yet to be had. So I'm very excited to see Kembral go back to work after she's ready because that was one of the things at the beginning of the party. People in the party are trying to be like, oh, are you coming back to work? And she's like, no, I just had a baby. Like, she is a new mother. It has not been that long, maybe a couple of weeks at the most. So her body's not fully recovered. She's not mentally recovered. She's still, she is still doing the new mother thing. And so she is not yet ready to go back to work. But super good book. I had a lot of fun with it. It does fall into the realm of sci-fi fiction, lesbian, queer, fantasy, and it says adult fiction, but I don't feel like there were any spicy scenes that would really cause it to be strictly adult. I think you could really get away with maybe being 15, 16 years old and reading this book. I don't feel as though there was context such as any sort of gruesome body horror or any sort of graphic scenes of any nature that would probably deter younger audiences from reading it at that level. My personal opinion. Because the story was fun. And I feel like, the romance is really cute, let's just say, between Rika and Kim. So I was really rooting for them. And I will leave it at that. I will not try to give away any spoilers because I do try to stay away from the spoilers. I try to let you guys go out, have the opportunity. And if you ever want spoilers, email me and I will try to give you guys a little more detail. I did have somebody I saw on one of my YouTube comments ask me to explain an ending of one of the books because I think it was a little confusing for them. Totally understandable. And if you ever have that issue, please email me and I will be more than happy to try to, at least in an email, maybe directly to you. So I'm not spoiling it. I don't want to put it in maybe a YouTube comment where I'm like spilling it all out, and that way people who may inadvertently read it have it spoiled. So if you'll email me and just say, hey, can you explain it to me? If you don't mind spoilers, just say I don't mind spoilers, and then I will pretty much blurt it all out. But thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you'll like and subscribe. I hope you'll come back and see me again. And I will see you guys on the next page. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And I hope I don't have to record this again. But I will if I need to. So have a great one. Bye.